Archer and the Devil.
What are you protesting? I'm not. I'm just here for the day out.
I'm just...
And you do shit. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Don't ever do that to me again.
There's no humans on Mars.
Of course there is.
No, there's not.
There has been.
No, there's not.
They did.
What's his name?
Mars Dave.
Who? Welcome, motherfuckers, to episode 42 of Archer
and the Devil.
That's
very passive aggressive.
Was it?
Yeah,
was it?
Yeah, a bit.
I'm a bit hungover. I've been grumpy all day.
Oh, not all day. All week.
All week.
Fucking miserable shit.
Yeah.
All week.
It's been a busy week. Last week we recorded our episode, and all that really had happened was that dead guy's funeral.
If you listened to last week's podcast, we do apologise. It was a bit shit.
It was phenomenal. Some of our best work.
I mean, some of it was good.
Yeah.
Most of it was a bit...
The bits where I was talking were fine.
It was almost like we peaked the week before.
Yeah.
And then had a week off.
Yeah.
And now we're back in again.
Yeah. Because we recorded on Sunday, and then Monday, football was over.
Yeah. Literally, we started the podcast on Sunday. I was like, what do we talk about? Nothing's really happened.
The funeral.
So we kind of padded it out a little bit, and then Monday happened.
So Monday, football was over. Finished.
Yep.
That's it. No more. We flew a helicopter on Mars.
Not us, personally.
Well, you don't know that.
No, I do.
Oh,
it wasn't me.
I meant them.
I know it wasn't me.
I meant them.
Was it you?
No.
No, definitely. So it wasn't us. As a human race, we flew a helicopter.
On Wednesday, we recorded an emergency podcast.
We did. Our first ever emergency podcast.
So came here, we recorded it.
Basically, you had a meltdown because football finished. And football's quite important
to me.
So he was like, "Football's finished. It's all gone to shit. We need to film a podcast about it. We need to let the nation know. The fans demand information." And
I never talked like that for a
start.
You
did. That's exactly what you said.
There's nothing in anything you just said.
I've got messages.
Prove it.
I've got
science.
No, we haven't got time now.
Okay.
But and then so we came round. We filmed an emergency podcast, and
by the time I got home,
literally an hour
every
later,
single thing we talked about was irrelevant.
So explain what happened.
So on Sunday, at the dead of night, it was Florentino Perez, who's the president of Real Madrid.
Apparently, it wasn't him.
Who was it?
I think it was the Juventus guy.
So it's him as well.
Okay.
So there's a guy from Juventus whose name I can't remember now.
Because he said now as well, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so it was in the afternoon they announced something was going to be announced. And then at 9:30, or I think it was 10:30, every club who's involved made an announcement on their website or on Twitter that there was 12 teams, inaugural teams, going into a Super League where there was no relegation, no promotion. So you're just in for 23 years the contract was for. So the example I gave, if you don't know about football, was basically like if Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and Hulk were like, we're leaving and we're going to start a new franchise with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Wolverine. We'll cameo in the films every once in a while, but Hawkeye, you're in charge.
And
Ant-Man. Right, that was essentially what happened because Nick Fury has been running a shit show, basically, and they were like, fuck this, we're not getting enough credibility and money that we should.
Nobody's buying our bobbleheads.
Right, and we know that we can function our bobbleheads better than you can. So fuck you, we're taking our bobbleheads with us. Why am I struggling to say bobbleheads?
Don't know.
Anyway, so Monday morning, everyone's like, oh my God, what's happened? Football's over.
Protests. People's throwing celery.
Which I do want to go into the protest side of it.
Oh, no. Oh, not the celery bit.
No, because that wasn't then. That was on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, we never, Because
it's
all blended into one.
So Monday there was a game, Liverpool played Leeds, and that was the first time I got to actually ask managers about it. Jurgen Klopp was asked about it, and he was like, we found out when you found out.
That Leeds wore the tops, didn't they?
Yeah.
As a big fucking fat fuck you to...
Because the main argument was that because there's no relegation, that what's the only real prize in it is winning. That's it. There's no jeopardy in it. You can't... No one else can come into it. No one else can go out of it. Those 15 teams hadn't announced the other 3 yet. We're going to be permanently in there, which is bullshit. Because as a West Brom fan, I want to see us play the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
Best teams in the country, at least.
Like the Villa.
No, that's the best.
Oh, rude.
I mean, fuck the Villa.
Rude.
But so then there were protests, and then by Thursday, Tuesday, it seemed like it was pretty much going to go ahead. It was
Yep.
like, fuck, this is happening. By Wednesday, it was over.
We literally filmed the podcast.
filmed
at
the
like,
protest.
was it like 6:30, 7 o'clock?
And that was when they were protesting with salary
Yes.
at Chelsea.
Yes.
And then we finished recording. I drove home, put the news on.
It was like all the teams have dropped out.
No. I got to my car, I put the radio on, and I was driving home, and they were like, "It's over, we've won." And I'm like,
Chelsea
"Wait, what?"
and Man City dropped out first.
Yes,
And then basically the headline was, it's a race to not be the last.
but it's essentially, yeah.
So then they all pretty much dropped out one after another.
But
And
it was
then all
the
the
fact
European teams dropped out as
Yeah.
well.
But now, yeah, like you said, Real Madrid have said it's not over. Barcelona have said we're not leaving it. We're still staying in it. So they're the only team officially now.
Oh, is it
the
just
Super
Barcelona
League.
now?
They're still there. There'll
Right.
be no games, there'll be no fixtures, but they're still.
They're going to win it every year then.
Well, yeah, absolutely, just by default.
There'll be them and like Brescia or some fucking lower league Italian side.
Brescia's a lower
They've
league
gone
Italian
all the
team.
way down and everyone's gone down and they've gone, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Fuck
I mean,
it.
the thing is, my argument was that there's no, because I understand people are pissed off at the owners. It's not the players, it's not the managers, it's not the fans. It was purely like the Glazer family for the Man United, Sheikh, what's his name?
Mansour.
That guy from Man City, Roman Abramovich for Chelsea, Daniel Levy for Tottenham, the other ones as well. I can't remember.
Them guys.
Liverpool was Henry and the other dude. And it was them who signed it. They've done everything. And then apparently the reason Chelsea and Man City left was because they were saying, you've lied to us.
Right.
Because the main reason the Perez has done it is because Barcelona are over $1 billion worth of debt. Real Madrid, I think, are in 900 million worth of debt. And they are fucked. Like they televise their games so China can watch them. They can sell more rights over and stuff like that. Whereas we don't do that with the Premier League because we do make a lot of money within it. The big six make more. But I think he was trying to find a way to salvage Real Madrid and Barcelona. That was kind of like the incentive behind it. And just, I think it was the fact that they were like, because the Premier League by no means is perfect. And neither is UEFA and neither is FIFA. FIFA are corrupt. Sepp Blatter got kicked out a few years ago. And I think they were like, you're corrupt, so we're going to do it ourselves. We're going to handle our own corruption, thanks. If it's going to be corrupt, let me be the one who's corrupting it.
Your man from Real Madrid is the man to not be corrupt.
Yeah, but since then, Ed Woodward has left Man United, or announced he's going to leave. The Juventus guy's left.
Ed Woodward. It's quite a mouthful, that, isn't it?
No, he was an actor, wasn't he? What was his name? Who was the guy in
Yeah, same guy.
Wicker Man?
It's the same name.
Is it the same name?
It's the same guy from Man United.
Ed Woodward is his name.
Edward Woodward.
Edward Woodward was the actor who was in...
I mean, Ed is Edward. It's the same thing.
Well, yeah. But he doesn't go by Edward Woodward.
He does in this podcast.
Well, yeah. And Gary Neville's dad's name is
Neville. Yeah. Edward Woodward.
Edward Woodward. It's a lot going on there.
Anyway.
But yeah, so by Wednesday, football was back. But now they are saying, be cautious, because it's not dead. It's just postponed.
So if any of you are wondering where the emergency podcast was, that none of you knew about,
Yeah.
that's why.
We recorded it.
We did.
And not only that, we recorded it, and the last video file was corrupt.
Yeah.
So
So we could have posted it anyway.
I was annoyed. I was happy it happened. I was happy that it got like dissolved. But like the day after would have been great. You know what I mean?
At least give us a chance.
Give me a minute.
It's corruption for you then, mate.
I didn't even put the video file in, and I woke up Thursday. I texted you saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna content's content." But then I found out it was corrupt, so I was like, well, I can't even do it anyway.
Corruption's corruption, mate. Sometimes there's just no rules.
Can't help it.
You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened.
But okay, this goes now into the protesting part of it.
Okay.
Because there were protests outside Anfield. It was outside Ellen Road because the Leeds were at home. There were Liverpool fans and Leeds fans there. And there was one at the Emirates, Arsenal, yesterday. There's one at Chelsea on Wednesday. And no one did anything. There's barely any police presence. And they can go and protest their little hearts out. And then yesterday, Saturday, obviously this is recorded on Sunday, there was a protest an anti-lockdown protest, even though we're not in lockdown anymore, which I didn't really get.
Okay.
There was a big anti-lockdown protest in London. And again, the police didn't do anything. And obviously we did a podcast a few weeks back when Sarah Everard was murdered.
And it all went off.
And it kicked the fuck off.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's weird how the government and the police will be like, well, they're all right. Football fans, they're fine. Let them protest. Don't want to wear masks. That's cool. Fill your boots. Women's rights. Fuck you.
It's like certain protests are acceptable.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah. Almost like that.
Yeah.
That depends, especially because it was like against police violence. It's like, we know what we'll do. We'll go and beat the shit out of them.
It's a bit. No, there was nobody going. Get yourself home. Get a job. Nobody said that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I remember when there was a protest about protests when the government imposed the rule.
That happened.
That did happen, right?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the comments, and people were like, "Send the fucking water cannons on them and rubber bullets and blah blah blah." I guarantee they're the same people who were like, "You what? Chelsea doing what? We're going straight down there."
Get the bed sheet out, love.
Yeah, you always see that with the really crudely fucking.
Where they've run out of room at the end, and they've had to put it.
There
on really
was
small.
one at Arsenal. There was one sign that was like, I can't remember what it was now, but it was something like, "This ain't on blood." That was
really
blood. BLUD. And then had written that.
It's got to be Chelsea.
Someone had written that it was Arsenal.
Or was it Arsenal? Chelsea or Arsenal?
Someone had written it on a board. It was written quite well, actually. But the fact that they were like, what can we really get our message across with?
This ain't it, blood.
This ain't it, blood.
We should have one.
What would ours be?
This is it.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it, bro.
Maybe we should start going to like protests and just.
I've been
like,
to two.
With this.
Just with that?
And just
With
hold
the
it
flag?
up. Yeah, just hold
With
it
the
up.
flag. What are you protesting?
But look, steal a for sale sign. Well, whatever they're protesting.
There was
we'll
one
just
guy,
turn up.
there was another guy at Arsenal, actually, Cronker is the guy who owns Arsenal, and he had one sign saying Cronker out and another one saying go vegan. So he was like, if I'm here protesting anyway, yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
absolutely.
If you're going, let's go.
I always think if you're going to make a protest sign, front and back, don't just do one side.
Oh, yeah, it's a
You've
waste of
got to
time.
do front and back.
Because you're spinning it round all the time.
Yeah. But I do feel like if you're doing front and back, then one side should be what you're there for, and the other one should just be something else you're passionate about.
That's what I'm saying. We'll just go with this.
So if I was protesting, for example, the government protesting protests, I'd have that on one side, the other side, fuck Jeff Bezos.
We can have this. And on one side, it'll say Dixon's Estate Agents. And on the front side, it'll say Archer the Devil.
Why are we having Dixon Estate Agents?
It's a poll, ready-made. It's basically a ready-made sign. It just says the wrong message on it. Do you know what I mean? So we'll just...
But people are going to be like, camera crews like BBC, like, what are they doing? Oh,
Dixon's
nothing.
Oh, wait. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Film that.
We're back
That's
in.
what we'll do.
Okay,
We'll just like every protest. HS2, we're there protesting.
Didn't you work for HS2?
That's the point. Veganism, we're there protesting. Let's do it.
What would you be? Yeah, but would you be pro or against?
I'm neither.
You're neither.
I'm just advertising
You're ambivalent.
the podcast.
You're just there. What are you protesting? I'm not. I'm just here for the day out.
I'm just glad to be not in lockdown anymore. Yeah. But this is an anti-lockdown Oh no, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I don't get the anti-lockdown protest at the end of lockdown. So
it's not even at the end. It's like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, like I know we're in like we're phase 2.
Maybe it's just really bad organisation. It's took this long to organise it.
Like they planned it, thinking they'll still be in lockdown,
and they've got to the point. I mean, we've organised it now.
I'll book my train ticket.
I've made my sign.
That's what it was. Mate, my bed sheets are ruined, so I've got to go down there now.
But I sleep on this. I can't sleep on this. The missus will kill me. I need to protest.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just exercising their right to protest.
Where were they when you could exercise your right to protest?
I mean,
about protesting, they're protesting the wrong thing, and there are people going around saying don't wear masks, and it's like no one's forcing you to.
I mean, all protests. I mean, from now on.
From now on,
yeah.
I've been to a couple. Let's go.
I'm gonna get a professionally made sign.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have listened to.
What you can what
podcast.
You do is you can have this on one side, and on the other side you can have a QC code.
QR code.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
What did I say?
QC.
I didn't even know what that is. What's the QR code stand for?
Don't know.
Okay then.
But people know what a QR code is.
It'll be on screen.
So you don't have to explain it.
There was that thing you got really excited about.
Oh, so he's been in such a bad mood all week.
I really have. I chose violence all week.
There was a video that was showed. I don't know how many drones it was. Let's say 1,000. But
I thought you said was it 1,000?
I think it might have been. I don't know.
So it wasn't even 1,000.
You're
full of shit.
It was how many ever it needed. However many it needed to make the. So basically, it was the drones had got lights on and some hadn't, and it was up in the sky.
Why? Wait. I have questions.
Right.
Why not just not have drones where there's no lights?
What?
You said some drones had lights on and some didn't.
Yeah.
Where you don't need the point or the light, why just not have a drone?
Because that's what a QR code looks like. It's black or white.
Yeah, but the lack of that would be blackness.
And also, you need a square. You can't just have a random drone on it. That's on its own. It needs uniformity. That's how it works. Anyway, so they was up in the sky, and the drones was lit up as a QR code.
Yeah.
But it's up in the sky.
Yeah.
And if you scanned the QR code with your phone, it gave you a free game, computer game to download.
Yeah.
I sent this to the devil, and it was like I'd ask him to fucking commit some sort of
I wasn't
crude
impressed.
sex act or something.
It was. I'd have been fine with that.
He was disgusted.
It was the capitalism in it that got me. I was having an angry week. You know what it was? There was a thing where the government spent 2.6 billion. Sorry, spent 2.6 billion on a conference room.
It wasn't 2.6 billion.
Million, just a billion.
Yeah.
Sorry, million. Because that's okay.
Yeah.
It was that is a big difference though, so I'll give you that one.
Quite a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Yeah.
They spent 2.6 million to emulate America's kind of
conference room.
Yeah, the White House conference room here. And then decided, actually, we're not going to use it.
I didn't get that.
And it's
it makes no sense.
We used it for about a month. There's no way that room cost 2.6 million.
No. They've got some bad interior designers in.
Or they've got heavy money laundering.
Yeah.
And when the government is openly corrupt, and this was Wednesday, that was the day I chose violence. Because I called all Tories.
True.
It's the third edit I'm going to have to do. For a third bleep out in a week, in a row.
I still haven't said it.
You haven't said it. But I was just that angry because I'm like, the government is clearly money laundering. Clearly. Pretty Patel's eyebrows. And now this and other things in between.
I wonder if we could find out who got the contract to redecorate that room.
But I think there should be a thing where they should make that public.
I'm pretty sure there probably is somewhere. And I'll guarantee that it will be somebody. I've got a mate that does that.
Yeah, it'll be Boris's uncle or something.
I've got a mate that does that.
Yeah.
He'll do you a good price.
But the fact that they've spent 2.6 million on a room, used it for a month, and then said, we're not going to use it actually.
He'd have gone and gone, this should normally cost you 3 mil. Because I know you.
2.6. Yeah.
You're welcome.
But it's when we haven't got enough funding to pay the NHS properly and stuff like that, and education's abysmal in this country, and it is. And Gareth's trying to sort out the potholes and the roads.
Poor Gareth.
It's all on his shoulders at the minute. And I think I just got that pissed off with it. And then that day, Boris Johnson was in government, and he basically he made a joke about the fact that like he's known for lying, and everyone laughed. And I'm like, you have a leader, and because I'm not sure, do you consider this government to be corrupt?
Be honest, I don't really pay that much attention.
Okay, should, but that's fair. That's why I'm here to shout at you about it.
I mean, I've been alive now for 38 years.
Nearly.
And there's been different governments in.
Yeah.
I haven't really noticed much difference.
How have you not?
Because I just haven't. They're all fucking useless. It's just a different colour.
Degree.
It's just a different colour.
It's not.
Nothing dramatically changes.
No, of course it does.
In what way?
In taxes, in
what
housing, in the amount of houses that are built, the amount of funding that goes to the military,
None of that's relevant
the level
to me.
of education, the level
Not
of
relevant to me.
healthcare. Of course, all of those things are.
None of them directly have an impact on my life.
They do.
If Boris came in and went, you can't have chicken anymore, then I'd be fuming.
You'd be there with your sign on the protest.
I'd be protesting.
Dixon's, get your signs out.
Because that directly affects me. But if he comes in and goes, we're giving this amount to the my tax, I don't necessarily earn more or less.
This is the thing, we've said this before the podcast.
I
don't vote for how much tax I pay. I vote to stop brown people in different countries being bombed.
Which is fair. But again, I don't vote because if I've never felt the need or never, like nothing... Like I said, if it was that drastic and something massively impacted my life, then I would be like, hang on a minute. But
it's just narcissistic, basically.
No, because they're all just fucking useless.
They're not. No, they're not.
Because something can happen in 4 years, and then the following 4 years they'll change it back, and then the following years they'll change it back again.
I don't agree. That is the problem. I mean, the one thing when we talked about China a couple of weeks ago about the BRI and everything, the reason China can do this is because they haven't got an election every 4 years, because they have communism there. They essentially can plan forever because no one's going to come in 5 years and go, actually, all those plans, we're not going to do that. So that is the downside of a democracy, is the fact that you can only plan for 4 years essentially and hope that the next government's going to come in. If it's your government still, they also have the same ideology, whereas if it's an opposing government, then they might change everything, which has happened when Biden came in. There were 17 things he immediately changed that Trump had brought in. He stopped the building of the wall, he stopped the pipeline and stuff like that. So there is a downside to that planning far ahead in that sense. But I don't think it's the fact that all governments are corrupt or all governing bodies are corrupt. I think the system's corrupt. I think that's the problem. Because even if you go in uncorrupt, the system will fuck you.
That's what I'm saying. There's only so much that they can do that will have an impact. And even then, like, it's the same like we talked about the royal family with the advisors. There has to be people that are not on either side. That, like, same with the president, they get in office and go, right, I'm going to make all these changes, and then someone pops out of a little office and go, well, actually,
yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Who are you? Doesn't matter who I am.
I'm in
but
charge
we
of the
can't-
stakeholders
but we
and
can't
what their
do that.
money is, and yeah.
Well, are you in our party? It doesn't matter who I am. But are you Labour? It doesn't matter. You can't do that. Oh, okay then. And then that's it.
Agreed, and that does definitely happen a lot. But I still think, I've said this before, I think when you're running your campaign to try and get in office or get in parliament or whatever it is, if you make promises and you haven't proven that you've tried to do them, if it hasn't gone through, it hasn't come to fruition, fair enough. But if you've blatantly lied in your campaign, you cannot run for 2 elections.
I agree, but it just nothing really, in my mind, there's nothing that even say when Tony Blair was in Parliament, for instance, right? There's nothing that's any different from then to me personally to now that's made me gone, oh, I wish I had, or he shouldn't have, or he shouldn't have.
But at that age, I mean, Tony Blair got in 1997, I think it was, or 98. So things that, I mean, you were 16 then. No.
Yeah,
you
we
were
was about to leave school, yeah.
Right, so the things that he would have brought in are things that you just wouldn't have noticed because of the age you were. So there's no way things haven't changed in 20 plus years. It's just
I'm not saying they haven't changed. I'm just saying having a direct impact on me.
But that is the biggest problem, though, I think, in this country and Western
Everything's
countries.
such high level.
If you live in an affluent society or live in an affluent area, then you're not really going to care if things don't bother you. Because why fuck up the system if I'm doing well off it?
No, it's not even that. It's if, like you've just said that there, if you're in a third world country and somebody comes in and makes a massive change, it's going to be instantly noticeable.
Yeah.
Whereas because we are having it, I'd say in this country we have a fairly easy life.
Yeah,
most of the time.
I think even people in poverty still have a general.
That's what I'm saying. Majority of people, if you know, there's benefits, there's housing, there's you know, I mean, there's exceptions, obviously, but there's nothing really that has a big enough impact in my mind that would move me to take a massive interest in politics. There's just not.
Yeah, no, and I get that. I think a lot of people have that.
And also because you know that ultimately all it is, it's one big fucking argument.
I get that in 4 years, it's like none of these things will be relevant anyway.
No, because they're just going to go, well, they done that, so we're not going to do that.
But that's why I
just
think
out
if
of
we do
spite.
something to change the system, which we're not going to, I'm saying this, I know nothing will happen. And I think that's why I've been grumpy all week, is frustration of like, when the government is openly admitting they're corrupt. Dominic Cummings has come out, because he left after all the shit he had, and he has said that some of the things Boris Johnson did were unethical. I think he's releasing a book.
Right, okay.
That's why he's like basically kind of like spilling all the fucking beans. But there's that whole thing with Dyson, where he was funding Dyson to get ventilators and stuff like that, and they're like, it wasn't above the board. Like whatever he's doing, there is definitely unethical things there, which I didn't agree with, and that's part of the reason I've stepped away from office. And if you have someone who's one of his backbenchers, someone who worked under him, up until a month ago, who was part of all the scandals, because he was one who was fucking running around.
Was he the one who got his eyes tested?
No. Yes. Yeah, he was.
Was it?
He was, yeah. If I'm wrong, it'll be on screen, but I'm pretty sure it was. And for him now to have gone through all that bullshit as well and be part of it and now say, yeah, he is unethical. It's when the people within that party are telling you how corrupt they are and nothing's done. It's frustrating. But I think that's why all week when you were like, look at this, I don't care, fucking.
But I think that's, as much as you probably won't agree, but I think it's the same across all parties.
Right, which is why I'm saying you change the
system. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And all it does ultimately is just because people just go, "What's the fucking point?"
Because Keir Starmer's no better. Don't get me wrong.
No, he's
a secret Tory.
As mad as it seems.
Did you see out of a pub this week?
He's how long? How long has he been in office?
Since the election. So it was November 2019 when Boris won.
Right. Corbyn left.
Corbyn left.
You used to hear Corbyn's name every single day.
I think it took a few months before he was elected in.
Every day you'd hear Jeremy Corbyn's name. That was every day.
But that's because there was an election year coming in. Because you knew there was coming, an election was coming up. But that is the problem though as well, though, is that we haven't got proper opposition in this country anymore. And Keir Starmer is far too right-wing for my liking. If I vote for him, it's purely tactical.
Is he just like the best of a bad bunch?
No.
Or is he just the only one that put his name forward?
He's just... No, I think it's they wanted to really step away from Corbynism. Corbyn was so socialist and so left-wing, and because they got hammered in that election, I think they were like, we have to go an opposite way, which is why they want Keir Starmer, because he's basically a Tory.
I just think the whole politics in this country is so out of reach of so many people.
It is, because you can't... There's no one you can see in Parliament who you can relate to.
Well, not even that, just socialism, capitalism, fucking... communism, fucking no one knows what any of these mean.
I mean, they do.
I would guarantee the majority of people don't.
Do you think?
Oh, 100%.
But again, that's where I come into our education and everything. The system's appalling.
That's what I'm saying, and I think that from the beginning it's flawed.
Yeah, no, it is.
Because there's so many different models and there's so many different things that people just go, fuck it, I don't understand it.
That is the thing. I think
that's it.
a
They
lot
just
of
don't bother
people
trying.
only vote on what's in front of them and what affects them day to day, which is why the football thing spoke to so many people, because that does affect them day to day. So that's why they came out and protested.
If you've got a leaflet in front of you for two different candidates, literally, that's probably the first thing that people know about politics.
Yeah.
Is the fact that got put through their door. And if it never got put through their door, they wouldn't have no idea.
I do think one thing they could do is if you made like a bite-sized politics show that was done like
decent.
Yeah, but that spoke to generationally to people.
With Love Island contestants.
That would work, like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking made in Chelsea people sitting here telling you, but like, at least then you can kind of
relatable people,
right? It's because there is definitely that thing. The whole point of the Ali G film was getting someone in. I mean, it was a parody. The whole thing was satire, but it was like getting someone in who's relatable.
There's probably more people learn more from the Ali G film,
absolutely,
than they knew before about politics.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the thing is, I know I've always had an interest in politics, so I'm probably not the best person to use as an example because I actively seek that information out, and I always have. But agreed, your everyday man isn't really going to give a fuck unless...
Like I said, because unless he directly... Like I said, that example I used earlier, if Boris came into power and said, right, that's it, chicken's off the menu, I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck's all this politics about?
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's this political stuff going on?
And then fucking Keir Starmer gets in and goes, don't worry, chicken's back on, but nobody can eat cows anymore. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
This isn't okay. But if he just comes in and goes,
which will happen at some point.
Well, but then
probably
he comes in, and then he comes, and someone else comes in and goes, oh, by the way, we're banning all petrol cars in 2035. Like we said the other week, 2035, fucking miles away, forget that. And you goes out your head.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect you until that will only come into power the year before, that election year before that year.
No, completely. That's what we argued. Well, the Paris climate happened this week as well, because they talked about global warming and everything that's happening there. Greta Thunberg has been in the news again for it. And I think they said 2030, I think, or 2040. And it's like something has to be done now. But they're like, oh, yeah, cool, that's the future government's problem.
And that's what it will be.
Which is what they're doing, which is like the 99-year lease thing. It's like, it's not going to affect us. Our party will have to deal with it.
We look good now, though.
Our party will have to deal with it. But it's not going to be me in the front line.
We look good now because we've announced it. We care.
Yeah, we're doing something about it.
We can't do nothing for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
Well, it's like the petrol car thing. Is that 2035? Is that
2030? That's 2035, yeah. They will no longer be selling new petrol or diesel cars.
I mean, with that one, I understand because you have to give companies the ability to kind of like adapt to it. But even that's a long time.
But even then, it's still unmanageable.
Yeah.
Like for it to even be a realistic goal.
Yeah. Yeah,
because
there'll be flaws along the way.
You've had 60, 70
They'll start planning
years
it 6 months before and go, we haven't got enough time now. We have to put it about 5 years.
And that's all that'll happen.
Yeah.
And even a simple thing like the rallycross that I watched, they decided in 2 years' time, the supercar class that's always been the most batshit crazy fucking mental rallycross class there ever was of cars, all battery powered.
Yeah.
And then the year before, there's like, nobody's built a petrol car. A battery-powered car, we'll have to put it back a year. And then the following year come, has anyone built a battery car? Nah. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
And then next year didn't happen. And then went, well, what we're just going to do now is do a separate class of just battery-powered cars.
Yeah.
And we'll big it up a little bit, but everything else continues as it was because no one took it serious.
Yeah.
And that was in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
And still no manufacturers just went, no, we just won't do rallycross anymore. Yeah. That's fine. We're going to do something else.
I think that is the problem, that like, as long as it's a future problem, which I do that's a future silly problem, but I'm not in charge of a government or like a country or people's well-being, so it's easy for me to do that.
It is this, like you said, the system. I just think it's almost like the gun laws in the States.
Yeah.
It's just gone too far that what are me and you ever going to change?
I saw a video today of a 13-year-old, I think it was in Louisiana, and he went to go and buy a beer. It was CNN were filming it. He looked 13 as well. Like at one point, one woman was like, are you 12? He went to buy beer, got refused. Went to buy cigarettes, got refused. Went to buy scratch tickets, lottery tickets, got refused. Gone straight away.
Really?
Got a rifle straight away from a private gun show. No questions asked. Just went in, handed his money over, walked out with a gun.
That's crazy.
It's fucking insane. And that's what I mean. I think the problem is as long as the system is as corrupt as it is and as fucked up as it is, And people want to talk about their freedoms and their amendments, and in this country, people are like, but that's how it's always been done. Cool. How's that worked out for us so far? I think the problem is as well, a lot of governments work off with America, with the Make America Great Again. When Brexit happened, it was like, keep Britain British. The problem was we did well off imperialism, of taking over the world. We haven't got that anymore. The reason Britain thrived was because of the empire. We took over 1/3 of the world, took all their resources, all their wealth. When we went into India, they're the richest country in the world. When we left, they were a third world country. That money came here. That's why we prospered so much. We haven't got that now. So we can never go back to that. Same with America. They haven't got slavery. And that's what they're harking back to. Make America Great Again means that to produce all the shit we did. But we had slaves doing it. It was free.
So
That's why you did so well off it.
Yeah.
But the reason it won't work now is because we're not in that position. But people just think of, we did great. Look, we built all these train lines. We had trade routes everywhere. There's a new thing now with Australia that the trade bill we've arranged it with them benefits us 900 million, benefits them 4.2 billion.
Australia?
Yeah. So because of the Brexit thing now, we're trying to trade with other countries around the world. They're obviously a big Commonwealth country, but they're going to benefit 5 times more than we are.
Why?
Because just what we're trading off them, what they're trading off us.
Oh, okay.
So, and they haven't
because we've effectively got nothing to.
Well, nothing that they haven't already got from other countries as well. Because they've got all of Asia as well. Keep in mind, because it's on their fucking doorstep. So we just seem to be kind of like putting ourselves in worse position. But it's cool because now you can fly your fucking Union Jack with a bit more pride and go, yeah, but it's British.
Get a blue passport.
Get a blue passport.
Worth it.
Is it?
Don't know. I just think there's 60 million people in this country, right?
Well, I think it's 68 now.
Well, however many people are allowed to vote, if they did, what would change?
Agreed. When you have two-party systems, I don't think
even then, what would change?
Everything could change. If Jeremy Corbyn came in last election, I'm not here to promote Jeremy Corbyn by any means. I mean, he was a flawed man. I definitely think he wasn't made for that role. I think his ideology was correct, but he was awful at playing the leader. Whereas David Cameron was the opposite. He was a great showman. He was great in terms of being in that position, but he was corrupt as fuck. And I think had he come in, because he wouldn't have been able to do socialist model in this country completely. But had he won that election and Bernie Sanders won, that's 2 socialist leaders who genuinely seemed to care about people, who genuinely wanted the best out of things. But there was a thing where every single big protest in the last 30 years, Jeremy Corbyn's been there on the right side of it every time as well. And Bernie Sanders did the same. And I think we had an opportunity to have these 2 people come in. Neither happened. And there's no way 127,000 people would have died in this country, I think, had Jeremy Corbyn been in.
Through COVID?
Through COVID.
You think?
Yeah.
But it's...
Because the thing is, they used a socialist model initially, which is what there was the other stuff with like the free internet. That was one of the things he wanted to do, and everyone laughed at him. You can't have fucking free internet. Because he wanted internet in every single house. And then as soon as the pandemic hits, and everyone has to work from home, Tories like, oh, maybe we should start looking to free internet. Has anyone ever mentioned that before? No, I don't think anyone's ever talked about that before. Let's do that. That's a good idea. And there were loads of things that were in his manifesto. They were like, that's a good idea. Just take that one as well. And I think it's frustrating to see it happening and play out, and having the leader of your country laughing about the fact that he's known to be a liar, and the rest of Parliament laughing with him, and we're all sat at home like fucking schmucks going, but he's trying his best.
See, I don't know any of this.
That's why I get angry, and that's why when they send me QR things, I'm like, fuck it, burn it all down.
But that's not my fault.
I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry, I was angry.
Okay.
I chose violence that day, as I keep saying. It's really warm in here.
Is it?
Yeah. Aren't you warm?
No.
Don't like change.
I'm nice and warm.
Also this week, though, on a positive note, kind of, for you, not for me, we flew a helicopter on Mars.
Why is that not a positive note for you?
Because it's going towards taking over other fucking planets.
It's not going to war because there's nobody there. We're only fighting what?
No, I didn't say war. I said like colonising other planets.
But you're not, because there's no one there.
That's not what we've proved this. That's not what colonising is. In the China one, we proved it.
Literally the definition.
It's literally they're not.
It is.
It's literally they're not.
The definition was put on screen and it said, taking over a country by force.
No, it wasn't.
Or something like that.
You can't misquote it and say it was.
I can't remember what it was. But I didn't watch the podcast.
It wasn't only that. We produced oxygen there as well. We increased the oxygen level on Mars.
So I don't say any of this is a bad thing.
Because it's just making it ready for us.
Yeah.
to fuck over.
But that's you just being defeatist.
I'm not being defeatist.
You don't know. What if they send Greta up there?
I mean, she
And
wants
they're like,
to go.
listen, love.
Greta won't go. Greta won't go because she doesn't even fly. She won't fly in this country.
True. Maybe
She's not going to fucking go on a rocket to fucking
What
Mars.
if they do like BA? Give her a jab in the neck, knock her out. She wakes up on Mars.
I mean, that wasn't her choice then. She didn't go there. She got taken there, clearly.
Yeah, but maybe she wanted to go, but she was like, oh, I don't know about the... What if it's like...
I don't think
what if
Greta's
they
gonna
fly
save the
up
world, to be
there on
honest.
vegan cheese? That's the fuel. What if Elon
Do you know what?
or Bezos...
If that one circumstance happens, I'm cool with it.
What if Jeff,
Fuck
Big Jeff...
Don't call him Big Jeff.
What if Big Jeff
not Big
comes
Jeff.
up and goes in his super villain,
Which he would.
like that, in his little lair, stroking his cat.
That's
an idea.
That's only. No, he wouldn't have a cat. He'd have a hairless Siamese.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He'd be too envious of the hair.
True, but he could, because I've got an idea.
Fuck you, Jeff.
I've got an idea. What if we can run our Amazon rocket on vegan cheese?
That's fine. If that one instance happens, only that one instance, I'm cool with
And
it.
he goes, Greta, I've got an opportunity. Listen, Bab.
Listen, Bab.
Listen, Bab. He's on the phone. And she goes,
Where's he from? Black country.
she goes, flirty, gurdy. That's
a bit
Swedish.
racist.
No, it's Swedish for I'm in, Jeff.
If she's the Swedish chef off the Muppets.
No, that's all they speak in Swedish.
Have you been to
That was Swedish.
isn't the
Do you
country.
speak Swedish?
I've been to Sweden.
Do you speak Swedish?
I've been to Sweden.
But do you speak Swedish?
I don't fluently.
So how do you know that wasn't
Because I've
Swedish?
been to Sweden.
Doesn't matter.
And no one. Do you know what
Unless-
hurdy-gurdy is? Hurdy-gurdy is an instrument.
In Sweden.
I mean, it depends where you
It
buy
just
it.
sounds the same as how the accent
It's
goes.
actually a really rad instrument. You have to wind it and everything.
Swedish are
It's a
really
whole
rad
thing.
people. So it's the same
They're
thing.
all right.
Either way, you're getting off topic.
Sorry.
What I'm saying is,
I'm getting off topic.
if Jeff rings Greta
Fuck
and
Jeff.
says, look, I've got a rocket.
No, he said, listen, Bab.
Listen, Bab, I've got a rocket, runs on vegan cheese. Are you in? She'll be like, and he's like, don't worry, I'll sort it. Are you okay with waking up on Mars? And she goes, okay. Doesn't really know what he means.
Okay.
They take her to Cape Canaveral or wherever he flies from. And she goes, I ain't getting on a plane, fool. and then all of a sudden, she just passes out like that. And it's because someone's given her the old jab in the neck.
Yeah.
She wakes up on Mars and she's like, actually, looking around, it's pretty cool up here. Bit red.
They could just take it to Jordan, the country.
Oh, don't let her go.
That's no, let her go. She pop on the plane, on the rocket. No, that's where they filmed The Martian. I had a look afterwards. They filmed it in Jordan, like Wadi Rum area.
Why do you always have to get off topic?
I don't. But what I'm saying is, you could take her there and go, "You're on Mars now, love."
But then
But
she'd
she's
be like,
secretly in Jordan.
no, I'm not, you liar. She's not thick.
Well, no, because now we're making oxygen on Mars.
Not that much.
Well, she didn't know that.
I mean, she's not daft. She was on the radio on Greg James on Popular Opinions.
What was her unpopular opinion?
Can't remember.
Oh, okay then.
And it's really
How do you feel about Greta?
It's really upset me. Somebody came on and said IKEA meatballs are overrated.
What did she say?
She went, I've never had them, so I
No,
wouldn't know.
fair, well, I guess
I
she's
don't think
vegan.
they sell them in the Sweden IKEA.
Well, do they not?
Don't think so.
The reason I like Greta is because grown men get angry about her, and that's why I'm pro Greta. I think she has the right idea. I think, like her ethically, she's on the right side of things. She is a bit grumpy, which I get. She's passionate about those things.
I think she's.
I get grumpy about
I
things.
think she's got Asperger's
Yeah, she
or
has
something
Asperger's,
like
yeah.
that. So I think that's just a personality.
Demeanor.
But
I like the fact that men get so angry about.
they don't get so angry at David Attenborough,
No,
sir.
Sir.
David Attenborough.
sir.
Do you know what I mean? They don't get fucking infuriated because he goes, listen,
Yeah.
stop chopping the rainforest. What? How dare you?
Yeah, but
Greta says it. Little bitch.
I think that, yeah, no, but that's what I mean.
And it's crazy.
And I think a lot of people dislike her because obviously when she came out, the first like notoriety she got was for that proper like, how dare you
Taking away
speech.
my...
Yeah, you're killing my planet, blah, 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 blah. So straight away, I was like, who's this bitch?
Yeah.
Like, whereas David Attenborough came in calmly, look at these mammals doing their thing.
Stop killing them, please.
If you don't kill these area, they can live longer, dudes. My
Greta's
dudes.
like, oh, you dickhead.
Yeah.
Pack it up.
So I think that's the thing of it. He went in with information, entertainment,
And Greta's a child,
and, well, she's 18 now.
which I think was the bigger issue. David Attenborough's
Yeah, she was like 15
well, I mean,
then.
he's earned his dues.
He has it. That's what I'm saying. He's put years in it.
Yeah. Greta's like, listen,
She's fresh off the block.
I've seen Facebook. I know it works.
We'll get her on.
Imagine. I'll text Greg James, off the radio one.
Oh, okay.
Say, listen,
Oh, we need a number.
Pass me the number on.
Yeah.
We've got a badass protest podcast.
Right.
And we need your mate on.
Yeah.
I'll get on the old Desperado's phone.
Let's get David Attenborough on. Sir. David Attenborough.
I think that'll probably be... do you think he's got any... do you think he's got a phone?
Probably not, actually.
Do you think?
I think he's probably got like some animals that fetch his mail.
Well, like Dr. Dolittle?
Yeah, like literally. Across between that and that scene where those birds come in and do that woman's laundry.
He doesn't live in a Disney film.
Oh.
He's a real person.
I know, but he talks to the animals.
No, I don't think he does.
He's got to.
No.
How do they always do that cool shit on camera?
9 times out of 10, he's not even there. It's just voiceover.
I know, yeah.
He's a bit of a
he's
fraud, isn't he?
He's like 94 years old now or something.
It's a bit of a fraud.
He's knocking on.
Unpopular opinion.
No,
so
because
David Attenborough's a fraud.
How dare you? He's a national fucking treasure. He's up there with Sir David Beckham and Sir David Bellamy.
I might go on Greg James to say that.
You can't. You cannot.
That's the point. It's an
For
unpopular
the sake
opinion.
of this podcast, this is only one half of our opinions.
Yeah, but that's fine.
I don't want tied in podcast calls. Sir
That
David
Bible
Attenborough. That'll be the
podcast
ones.
gets cancelled.
Yeah?
No, I'm going to go on Greg
cancel
James
culture
and say,
things.
Sir David Attenborough's a bit of a fraud.
How dare you?
And then they'll say, why? And I'll be like,
how
because
absolutely fucking dare
because
you?
most of the time, he just flies all his camera crew around. They get all the
How
footage.
can you-
And he sits at home and just talks over the footage.
Yeah, but you're
It's not really a
procreating.
conversation. What's the word?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Conservationist.
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 How was that a hard word for
So
you?
I kept wanting to say
You're
conversation.
pro the Queen, who tells us all to knuckle down, things are going to be hard, while sat behind a fucking golden piano.
Happy birthday.
She's fine.
It's her birthday this week.
No one cares. Which one, the real one or the fake one?
I forgot to wish happy birthday on Facebook. I hope she
Oh,
don't miss
mate.
it. Forgot to write on a wall.
She hasn't even got fucking Phil wishing at her now, and you forgot as well.
I know. I felt quite bad.
You're a terrible
Imagine if she was sat at home going,
royalist.
I hope Jake's fucking wishing me happy
Honestly.
birthday. And she scrolls down a timeline and goes, motherfucker never wrote HBD on my fucking timeline.
Is that what you do, HBD?
That's all I do.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's a bit lazy.
I mean, it's the same.
I write happy fucking birthday to everyone on their birthday.
You think how many people write happy birthday and you scroll and all of a
You're
sudden
trying to stand out.
and you see HBD and you're like, oh,
I
what's
used to-
HBD stand
there's
for?
one-
And then you go,
There's one dude I know called Jay, and every year I insult him in a different word. Just one word on his birthday. Because in between, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. I've got to keep bleeping these out.
you've said it twice
I know
now. You're
now.
just giving yourself more work.
I
We need
know.
this button.
No, because I wouldn't have pressed it. It takes the same amount of time. Because I have to put the thing over my mouth as well so you can't see it.
What thing?
I put a parent advisory box over my mouth.
I should probably watch the podcast.
You probably should. It would help. You have been watching it because you're making the clips.
True.
It's been great.
All right, I should pay more attention.
Yeah. So, Mars, anyway, that thing was
Mars.
cool. I had a look at it
Sorry,
earlier.
back to Mars.
Oh, the West Brom lineup's out.
The what?
West Brom Villa. It's happening in
I don't care.
20 minutes.
Yay, football. Okay.
It was called Ingenuity,
Right.
and it was the first new flight on a planet since the Wright brothers flew their plane in 1903.
It's a drone, yeah?
No,
It's
it was a fucking helicopter. It wasn't manned. So
It's
yeah,
not
in
a
that
helicopter.
sense,
It's a drone.
it's a fucking helicopter.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Could you sit in it?
Not me. I was on Mars.
Could Greta sit in it?
Could who?
Greta.
Probably.
She's only small.
Could sit on it.
She can't because it's effectively a drone.
What if in a harness? Yeah, no, you couldn't sit on that.
It's a drone. Yes, it's basically a helicopter, but it's not a
You
helicopter.
could build a section to sit on.
You don't see a drone going across the sky and go, look at that helicopter.
No, but
You say, look at that drone.
yeah, but
Same thing.
no, it was a fucking.
Just because it's on Mars doesn't make it sound like a helicopter.
It was called Ingenuity, April 9th, and they flew it for. It was just a test.
It's unmanned as well, weren't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what. That's the whole point.
So technically, isn't it a robot's first
An
flight?
AI
Yeah.
helicopter.
And it's not AI though, because it's not computer controlled.
That's true.
It's human controlled.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So it's a remote control helicopter.
basically, kind of.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened.
Which is essentially a drone
on Mars.
on Mars. But yeah, it's pretty cool though. What did they see with it? Just more Mars.
Were they filming with it?
I would assume so. I would hope so. Otherwise, what's the fucking point in taking it?
So you can Take them.
What? Just go. Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah.
Tick.
How much was that? 4 billion.
Just like a micro machine up the first ever micro machine on Mars.
What would you want to be? We talk about Mars a lot now, but here we are. What would you want your first Mars to be? The first person to do this on a planet.
Oh.
What would you want yours to be?
Probably do a donut.
Oh, okay.
I'd get like the buggy.
Like the Mars rover?
Yeah, and do like a donut in it.
Okay.
And then go, see that shit? First one on Mars, that is. Take a photo of your drone.
With the helicopter
and then
drone?
Send the drone up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably that.
Okay.
I don't know. What would you do?
Fuck.
Of course you would.
100%.
Of course you would. Like, you really think no one's done that before?
No one's been on Mars.
Do you really not think there's a bloke lying in his fucking bunk having a little crafty Tommy tank going, first one on Mars?
There's no humans on Mars.
Of course there is.
No, there's not.
There has been.
No, there's not.
They did.
What's his name?
Mars Dave.
Who was the first person on the moon? We know his name. Because that was quite a relevant event, right?
Is the rover
You're
got
confusing
no
it with the Martian in the film.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
No one's been on Mars. That would be a Lad Bible.
This is why they shouldn't do fucking films like that.
If that happens,
people.
I promise you, Lad Bible will have a story about it.
Okay, maybe not then.
So yeah, no one's been on Mars, let alone fucked on Mars. So
that's right, because you was gonna take over Mars by having the first Mars baby.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, I'd be the first person to fuck on Mars. Obviously, I need someone else to come with me.
I'd do the Tommy Tank first
and participate.
I'd just do the Tommy Tank.
If me and you went up there, you might just have to take one for the team.
I'd be up there with Tommy Tank.
What's Tommy Tank?
A Tommy Tank.
I don't know what that means.
You do.
Oh,
it's rhyming slang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to keep saying it. But
I genuinely just didn't get that.
Literally, as it landed on Mars, I'd be at it.
You were one of the first person just to have a crafty one on Mars.
Yes. Why not? Because what if it's just you and like two blokes? Your whole plan is flawed. Mine still in action.
You're now literally an intergalactic wanker.
What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
That would be, on BBC News where it's got like the name, what they're known for.
Yeah.
That would be yours. Archer, intergalactic wanker.
Hi. Coming back doing seminars.
But you'd be waving, like, is it that hand? Was it that one?
Last week we had Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
This week we've got the bloke that had a wank on there.
on Mars. Next week, Greta.
So, tell us your story. Well.
Did you use lotion?
As I landed down, I made sure that it was all over. The end. Bye, thanks. See ya. That'd be it.
Had a look out the window, no one was there.
How? Let's not get into it.
Yeah,
no,
that's
space suit and stuff, and
not.
I'd be like logistics issues. I don't know if logistics is the right word.
That's true. Well, it depends how much oxygen they pump into there. The thing is, I was thinking if they do manage to,
would you have like a flap? I don't know. I don't know how it would work. Or like a pod.
No, it'd have to be sealed off.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be like a pod. Like a dome.
So you can put your hand in.
Dome.
No, you know those things where they deal with like radioactive shit. So you have those gloves that go in. You put your hands in the gloves and you do shit. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Don't ever do that to me again. That was way too graphic.
No,
you might have to blur that out. That was pornographic. That was.
It wasn't. No, they'll have to like pour a chemical into something, but you can't be in the room.
Yeah.
So they have those like gloves that you
what,
put
you
into.
just like lean in?
But you can have a glove there.
Like lean in.
You can put your glove hand into your glove hand.
Are they making me a wanking cabinet? Is this what?
That's exactly
is
it.
Is this what's happening?
A wanking cabinet.
Yeah, but now I've got to tell people that it's happening.
Well, you're going to go on TV next week when you come back.
It's true.
You're literally known for being it. That's the point.
It's true. Maybe a wanking cabinet's the way forward.
Maybe it's the way forward. It is.
But it'd be like a NASA designed.
Like, for example, our friends of the show now, Pritchard and Johnny Ward, are currently, well, they're 7 days away now.
I don't think they've got a wanking cabinet.
A week away? No, right.
Oh.
But there's 4 of them on a tiny boat.
Right. Where's this going?
Do you reckon any of them have a quick shuffle on there?
Oh, I mean, if they've put out that they're one of the only people to have, like, to jump in the sea with the furthest point away from land,
yeah,
I'm putting money on the fact that one of them's had a crafty tug.
Right, but what I'm saying is, how crafty would it be? Would you have to just be like, mate?
Knowing Pritchard, he's probably stood in the middle of the boat just doing it.
Yeah, he 100% would. I think Johnny's got a bit more decorum about him.
He's been rowing naked, so why would you not just have a little tug? You know what I mean?
We are going to try and get him on when they're back.
Not for that.
I'm going to ask him, though.
100%.
Absolutely going to ask
Question
him.
one.
Did any of you wank?
Congratulations on rowing 5,000 miles. I'm pretty sure it was very difficult. Who had the first wank?
Yeah. Pritchard. No, my money's on Pritchard having the first wank.
No, sorry. How long into it was it before?
And not only
Pritchard
that,
had a wank?
I wouldn't be surprised if Pritchard was wanking as it came to sea, like as it came to shore. We're about to land. Quick, lads. Fluff me up. I mean, it's been 4 months. We've been together.
How has this podcast ended up into
wanking? Because
can we even say that on YouTube?
Yeah. We're not monetized yet anyway. It's fine.
that's
Say what the
true.
fuck we want. I need to bleep out to be honest.
When we get monetized on YouTube, you know, we've got to blur out. We've got to bleep out all swear words.
Fuck that.
Can't.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want money.
Well, they demonetize you.
I'll happily take the hit.
They demonetize you or...
I'm not here to get paid. I'm here to swear at politicians.
Yeah, they have to. They all get bleeped.
Really?
Yeah.
So what about...
Even if you say... Because that way then you can say that you're like child friendly.
But we're not child friendly.
No, but if you're not swearing, technically, according to YouTube, you are.
But what if you release a song, right?
Yeah.
And it's got swear words in it.
Yeah.
Do you not get monetized for that song?
No, because they bleep them out.
Not all of them.
Well, I don't think WAP is.
But there'll be a version which isn't.
Yeah.
And isn't. So the version that isn't edited wouldn't be monetized.
I don't think you can.
That's crazy.
You can't swear
Fuck
on YouTube.
that. We should start our own
I'm pretty sure like,
streaming, video
you
streaming
can't.
service. We can take on YouTube. No, we can't.
We can't even get YouTube to pay us. Let alone take it on and have our own platform.
That's fair.
I don't even know how the algorithm works.
Once you're an intergalactic wanker,
Oh, excuse me.
you'll be
True.
famous around the world. Should we move on from this?
I mean, we need it finished. So, I mean, there's not... Where'd you go from,
Intergalactic wanking.
Mars tugs?
My question was going to be, though, if they do manage to increase the oxygen level there significantly.
Oh, we're going back to this?
Yeah.
Right.
Would there, like, plant life be a thing there then?
I guess so, because
Wouldn't it?
it needs oxygen. But again, in The Martian,
But he's not producing...
they had oxygen pumped in.
But he only balances out that one room, though, really.
Yeah.
But if you start pumping all... You're all right there.
Got your cups.
If you start feeding through all the carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen to a level where you can sustain... I mean, it's going to take a minute. But it creates an atmosphere. And you now have a fully oxygenated planet. That's a word. Don't check it. Would it create plant life?
Planet?
No, oxygenated. I think it might be a word.
Did you know?
You answer my question, but fine.
I don't know the answer. I heard a thing the other day, which I understand it, but it's still, just to hear it out loud was a bit crazy. India currently have got the worst infection rate of COVID. Right?
It's really bad. They're lying about like
they're
how many
getting
people...
something like 3 million new infections a day.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's got to the point where they're running out of oxygen.
I didn't hear that bit.
I mean, I know what it means because it's pure oxygen.
Yeah.
But the fact that we breathe oxygen and they're running out of it.
No, they're not running out of oxygen in the air.
No, I know that.
Right.
But to hear someone say it out, they're running out of oxygen, you're like, what?
I mean,
What?
yeah.
I know what it means.
The problem was Modi
yeah.
is an absolute asshole. The Prime Minister of India, Modi, is an absolute fucking dick. And he basically wanted to be that person who cares more about like reputation than actually helping people. So I think, from what I've read, he was just giving away loads of ventilators at the start, just kind of like getting good, and just to build up some like favourable press for himself. So now that they've had their second wave, and it's really bad because it's such an overpopulated country, that there's just... I was watching a thing on BBC News yesterday, and there's literally people just bringing in wheelbarrows and carts full of wood to burn all the bodies.
Well, people are queuing at the hospital and they're dying in the queues.
Yeah.
Because they just can't get in the
Fucking
hospital.
insane. And that's only what they know about in the big cities.
But you know, just when I heard that on the radio, they run out of oxygen. I was like, that's just fucking mental. That can even happen.
Because, yeah, Boris was meant to go over there, and then he was still going to go over there, and it was only because all the press were like, really? Really? He was like, oh, yeah, no, we won't.
He's been walking around the pubs as well, isn't he?
We'll do it over Zoom instead.
Boris.
Yeah.
When everyone's been told, go to the pub, sit down, don't move. Boris is
He's
walking
a
around
fucking
saying hello
clown.
to people.
He's a fucking clown. He was still shaking hands with everyone last year, and then got COVID and was surprised by it.
They need a good PR. He needs a good PR person.
We went to the pub
Boris
today.
does.
I'll be his PR person.
Fuck you now.
He wouldn't last a day.
Good luck, Boris.
How was your pub experience?
It'd be like, Boris, we understand that you've been stealing money from the crowd, and he'd be like, I'll just pass this to my PR person, and you'd be like, yep, it's true.
Yeah, yes.
It's true.
Way more. Way more than you think.
I watched him do it myself.
Here are the receipts.
But yeah, we went to the pub. the summer's out, so I thought, why not? Let's go to the pub. It's a bit of a faff, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a faff.
It was.
I mean, it wasn't too bad because you could order your drink from the table thing.
I don't understand why there's never waiter.
But because it's cheaper, because they had 3 bar staff instead of 13 bar staff.
Yeah.
But it was just a bit of a faff.
Yeah,
it was nice. It was nice to get out. It was nice to get out. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll be in a rush to go back.
Yeah, same.
Before you can actually sit down and have a normal experience. But
yeah,
there seems to be a lot less talk of COVID recently.
Yeah.
In the UK. Since everywhere's opened back up again.
I think other things have taken over. So the big thing that happened as well this week was the Derek Chauvin case in America was a police officer who murdered George Floyd last year. And on Monday, they made their final statements. And then Wednesday, it came through. I genuinely was sat there thinking, he's not going to...
Something else that we missed.
Yeah. But I was like, it's going to be not guilty, it's going to be not guilty. And genuinely was just like, felt so anxious. I don't really get anxious at all, but really did. And then, yeah, guilty came through.
I mean, I literally messaged you and was like, I almost feel like I need to say, like, congratulations.
Yeah.
Like, it was a weird feeling for me as well because...
Yeah, I think, for me, the worst thing was there was a 15-year-old girl who got murdered a minute before they announced the verdict by the police. And as that got reported, I saw it on Twitter, like, within 5 minutes after, it was just kind of like, is this really a victory? Like for this one case, it is. Yeah, it's good that. And my biggest thing for me was when he got handcuffed and took out of that courtroom. Every single police officer in America saw that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
that was the victory for me.
I think it's as much as it was. I think there was so many people expecting, like you did, not guilty, because that's always what happens. And when it didn't, everyone was like,
"Because you set a precedent now. Once you do that,
that's what I mean." It was almost like a, "Ooh,
yeah."
Okay, that's just happened then.
Yeah.
And majority of people might just go, oh, okay, and then move on with their lives.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
But for so many other people, it had such an effect.
Yeah, it was, I remember the Rodney King one in the 90s, like 92, the LA riots. And the LA riots started because Officer Coons and everyone else got away with it. And that's what started the riots.
And that's what I mean, and that was what, 90?
Yeah, 92.
And then since then, nothing's really
29
changed.
years.
Nothing's changed.
And this is the first police officer that's been done for it. And I think they were saying something like 957 people have died by the hands of the police since George Floyd died.
So it was a big thing. Like, I genuinely felt like proud for you. It was a weird feeling because...
I think I did not so much for myself, but more for black people.
That's what I mean. And
it's
just like, it's almost like it was a...
It was accountability. That's what it was.
It was a small win. But it was a win nonetheless. Do you know what I mean?
For his family, it's a huge win.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He hasn't been sentenced yet, but they're saying anywhere up to 75 years.
And like I say, I think I've seen something where it said, if you've got like 295 good cops and 5 bad cops, there will always be 300 bad cops.
Yeah.
Because them 295 are not outing.
Yeah.
The bad 5.
That's why
so they're all going to be the same.
That's why I don't believe in good police officers. I think you're only a good police officer if you quit. I stand by that.
If you quit?
If you quit. If you want to be a good police officer, quit.
Why?
Because the system's corrupt.
Oh, I see.
So if you're working within a corrupt system, then you are part of that corrupt system. No matter how good a cop you are in it, you're still part of a corrupt system.
Because you're not making a difference or trying to change it.
So if the biggest change you can make is to quit.
And then if enough people do it,
then they have to look at the system,
change the system. Happen.
I'm not saying we can't have police, but I don't think the police that we do have in the Western world, I've travelled all around the world, I've never met a police force who've been like, oh, they're sound. I mean, if they have, I haven't come across them. I haven't had a lot of run-ins with the police who have travelled and stuff, luckily. No, I do think that if enough happens, then you'll change the system, which is what I think with everything, just our whole system across the board needs changing. Education, policing, health.
That's what I was on about with the politics. I think eventually, if people just stop voting, then rather than more people vote, if just no one does,
they have to change the system.
And they just physically say, right, I'm choosing not to vote because fucking they're both just as useless as each other. Things have got to change. But then ultimately, they're not even better because even less people care.
But the thing is, it will never happen. I think that's the biggest problem. And that's why I was frustrated because it's like, what can you do really? What can an individual do?
We can't. But then you say that, but then look at the protests.
Yeah, but again,
you know what I mean?
But the thing is, it's like when people were protesting about the protest being banned, most people were complaining about them. Football's at risk, and everyone comes out.
But that changed it.
I don't think it did. I don't think it was
think?
that that changed it. I think it helped. I think it contributed, but I think it was probably sponsors threatening to walk. I think the risk of the Premier League.
But surely that all comes down to public pressure, because of ultimately without the fans, they're not making any money.
Agreed. I do think there's more to it, and I do think it's going to resurface.
But it was more.
It's easy to say the fans won because that way you haven't got to look at what actually caused it.
But ultimately, it was money won.
Yeah.
Because they've gone, well, we could get this or we could lose that.
Yeah.
What's more?
Yeah.
And they've gone, well, losing that is greater than that, so let's not lose that.
Yeah.
And then nothing changed.
Yeah.
So effectively, money.
And like I said, I mean, the
won.
thing is, like, UEFA are corrupt, FIFA are corrupt, and all it did, and the Premier League is corrupt. So all it did was like our corruption beat their corruption. And now we've got a bit of sympathy on our side, so we can push a bit more corruption in.
We listen to our fans.
Yeah, yeah. Which is no, they don't. They're full of shit.
Full of shit.
But that's it.
It is. We've come to the end.
Come to the end.
It's been an action-packed.
I didn't talk about Tibet this week because so much happened.
That's fine.
So, assuming this week's a chill week in the world, we'll
let's save that for next week.
we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. I remember that. I was watching last week's podcast and you mentioned it and I was like, oh, Lady Gaga, China.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I forgot.
Yeah, no, it was just because so much happened this week. It was just like,
That's fine.
yeah.
Please subscribe.
Yes, do that. Like us on Instagram
Yes.
and pictures of things.
And if you've watched all the way to the end, please type tomato in the comments on YouTube.
No one's going to type anything in the comments.
If you've listened to the end of this point in the podcast, write tomato in the comments just to prove him wrong.
Prove me wrong, happily.
Prove him wrong. Write tomato in the comments.
Go for it.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening.
See you next
or
week.
watching. Peace and love.
Bye.
Bye.